to my sewing channel. I'm Julie and this is Julie Sews Her Own Clothes. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and I hope you like the content that I'm sharing, and if you are a returner, it's great to have you back and thank you for your support. Today I have the reveal of my Kielowarapdress. I think I mentioned in a couple of my vlogs that I was tempted by the Kielo, but a bit reluctant because I feel it was one of the most expensive patterns on the market for what is a wrap dress amongst many wrap dresses to choose from. This particular one had a very different style, so I did give it a try, and I guess what I need to do is decide whether or not I think it was worth the money that it cost. The Kielowarapdress, I've seen so many variations of it, and a lot of people said they downsized. So I looked at my size on the pattern. The measurements on the Kielowarapdress placed me at the low end of a size 14, but because so many people had downsized and felt that it was very roomy, and because of the shape of the Kielo, I did decide to downsize a couple of sizes, and I went for the size 10. I'm really glad that I did because the bust fits really nicely. However, there were a couple of issues that I had with the pattern that I'm just going to talk you through. So as you can see, I made the Kielo in a very soft viscose jersey. I purchased this from, I think it was £1 a metre. If it wasn't, I'll put on the screen what it was, but I used 2.5 meters of fabric for this of a toile. It was very inexpensive to make. I actually am far more pleased with the outcome than I was anticipating. Because it's so light, I think it drapes really well, and I will put some photographs in, and if I can get some video footage I'll put that in so you can see how it moves whilst I'm wearing it. But you can see from Annie wearing it that it's not tight anywhere, and downsizing it twice was potentially the right thing to do. I really struggled knowing which lines to cut from the patterns because the Kielowarapdress also had the Kielo jumpsuit lines, cut lines overlapping each other. There was also the line, the shoulder bodice line for a sleeved version and for a non-sleeve version, and I am pretty certain that I cut this bodice piece on the non-sleeve version, and I think potentially if I'd cut it on the correct line it would have sat exactly on the edge of my shoulder, whereas it stands it's ever so slightly higher, but it's not uncomfortable, so I've gotten away with it and it's very comfortable under the arms, and it hasn't made that area too small for my arm to move comfortably, so I'm really pleased with that. I did make some errors, and I think you can see here I have potentially cut this way back, and I should have followed the line with the sleeve, and I've definitely cut the sleeveless. Then there's a ton of lines, so here and then further down there's more, and then further down again there's a whole load of lines, and then at some point it ran off to the curve for the jumpsuit, and I got a little bit confused there. Now it might be that I had the pattern printed. I purchased the AR printing. Now I don't know what the original looks like. It might be that these could have been colour coded, but as you can see, what I purchased is, it definitely isn't colour coded. And then it goes extremely narrow to the bottom, and yeah, I just got really confused with it. I couldn't follow anything in terms of using the pattern as a guide, so I just cut it. I did start to fold up these areas thinking they were potentially height related, but then I thought, oh, I'm just not getting this, so I literally just pinned it all to Annie, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to take all of the folds out and just have it completely open as it was printed and cut. And then I just pinned it to Annie and thought, do you know, 5'7" is going to be too long, and maybe I can figure out where the waist is meant to be and just adjust it on the mannequin rather than on the cutting table, trying to understand it while it was laid flat. And as it goes, I put it on the mannequin, and I just thought, I think I'll get away with that. So as it was a toile, as it was such cheap fabric, I wasn't too overly fussed in making an error at that point. So I literally just went by the pattern, made no adjustments, and it took me maybe 2 hours to sew it together. Very simple lines. The wrap, I mean, if that isn't the best buffet or barbecue dress, I don't know what is, because it just gives, you know, you can undo it a little bit, you can fasten it as loose or as tightly as you like. You could fasten it really loose like this. I like it cinched right in, so I literally, I don't know if you can see that, I crossed it over and then tied it round the back. But you know, I did try a few different ways. You can tie it straight to the back and then fasten it at the back or the front. It is all down to how you like to wear your garments. I quite like that to be nice and fluid. Now my initial aim was to use this as a toile, and then if it worked out, which I believe it was very successful, and I do think it was worthwhile purchasing. I do really like it, and I'm glad I bought it. I wore it for my sister-in-law's 50th birthday barbecue, and it was so comfortable to wear. I really enjoyed wearing it. But what my intention was to use it as a toile, and then I was going to use this ex-designer fabric, and I was going to make the actual wearable garment in this fabric. Now, I kind of changed my mind. I think that is so distinct as a dress. To have two in the same season, I just felt was a bit overkill. When the fabrics are so lovely, I want them to kind of shine in their own right, if that makes any sense. So I will definitely make another Kielowarapdress, but maybe for next year, and maybe I'll try a shorter version of it. I really do like this though. It was so nice to wear. But I have actually, this is a skirt piece. I have cut this fabric, which is let me remind myself, the viscose spandex jersey that I purchased from First for Fabrics. It's ex-designer. It definitely feels a little more weighty. And I was a little bit concerned as well that actually it might feel a bit too bulky to have a slightly heavier fabric around my waistline. But I've also seen that they have, whilst I was making this, Named Patterns released the woven version of this dress, which kind of surprised me, because I think I've seen woven versions it's not cheap to then buy it again just to use it in a different fabric. And I am sure there's a really good vlog out there. I can't remember the name. It's definitely Sarah. Can't remember the name, but I'll put the link in. She's done a fantastic step-by-step video of how she used the Kielowarapdress pattern and used it with a woven fabric. So if you would rather look at that and assess whether or not you want to adapt the Kielowarapdress, if you fancy making it in a woven, or if you just want to go and purchase the new pattern, then at least you've got choice there. So but I am making the Friday Pattern Company Westcliff dress. I think it's one that I saw quite a bit last autumn winter that I thought, oh yeah, that's really lovely. And I think if it just looks like a really nice transitional piece. So I have so far made the wrap top for it. It's a faux wrap because it's actually caught and sewn onto the skirts, and I am really looking forward to finishing this actually, because again, this was it's been very quick. I spent about an hour from opening up the pattern AR pieces, cutting it out and sewing the bodice. That's as far as I got. I've spent about an hour on it so far, and it's short sleeves. I'm still not decided whether to just go for it's below the knee. It's below the knee at the moment, but I have cut the ruffle for the bottom of the skirt, but I haven't decided whether I'm actually going to use it, because I think I quite like the length that it would be with just the skirt panels. I think I'd probably wear it more. I'd get lots more wear out of it, because I would wear it for work. If it was, I'm not sure if I would wear it for work if it had if it was like the mid-axi length with the mid-axi. Did I just make that up, or is that a thing? Mid-axi, mid or maxi, maybe it is a thing. In terms of what I'm going to be doing next, I think I'm not really decided. So I didn't want to go, oh, I might do this and I might do that, and then you never ever see it again. I've got a couple of shirts, blouses that I've been that are either cut out or that they're planted in my mind that I want to get up and running for workwear when I go into the office. And I really must get my bucket list in front of me, because I know I've got the ambition to make a pair of jeans this year. Was very clear at the start of the year, and I've let that thought flitter through my mind several times. I actually watched Nadia from Stitch and Style. I watched her jeans video again the other night, because I just wanted to remind myself that that is something that I want to do and not to be scared of it. So I potentially will do another vlog where I'm going to show you the fabrics and the patterns that I've got lined up for my autumn mix, but I'm not quite ready to do that today, because I feel like I'd be rushing it and just putting things together for the sake of it. I'm having a 2-week break from work, and Chris and I are off to a lovely little place by the river, not too far from Plymouth, which will be our base to kind of have a little explore of one of our favourite areas. Today actually I am wearing a cropped, I think it's the Tilly in the Buttons Tabitha, and I just lengthened the arms on it. It's very much cropped. I'm just wearing it with a pair of jeans, but I just added a little waistband, cropped it and lengthened the sleeves. It's that time of year where evenings are cold, even if it's warm during the day, and it is warm now, I can tell you. Really dying to put the aircon back on. So it is now time to do reveal number 2 from the bumper giveaway that I started a couple of vlogs ago. Winner number 2 is Make It So. Make It So 2023. So if that is you, congratulations. You chose pattern number 2 and fabric number 3, which was the experimental space shirt. It's the Haley shirt. So that will be coming to you. And the rather lovely blue and pink 3.5 meters of this gorgeous kind of tie-dyed fabric. But I hope you make something wonderful with it and share it with us. So again, I am going to ask, Make It So 2023, if you are on Instagram, please private message me on Instagram. If not, put a message in the comments below, and we will carry on until I think we've got another 3. We've got another 3 to do, so I look forward to that. I wanted to let you know what I've been watching. I think most sewing vloggers are female. I know that's not 100% all, but most vloggers are female. And I think my personal view is empowered women empower women and do not see them as a competitor. So I'm all for enabling others to be seen and to be valued for what they're achieving and contributing. So my vlogger that I would like to give a shout out to this week is Anne Tilly Handmade. I really like the space that she works from, and I like the way that she shares what she's doing. I watched one of her vlogs the other day where she was not just recreating a garment by the pattern, but actually by copying the design on the fabric by hand, and it was just lovely watching her. So if you want to pop along and give her a bit of support, she is a small sewing channel, and I'm sure she'd appreciate people going along and checking out what she does, because it is a commitment, actually, way more than I expected when I set off on this journey. It is a commitment, not just to do all the preparation for the vlog, but actually the video editing. It does take a lot of time. So I think whilst it's easy not to even care about that and just flick through and go from one vlogger to the next and check through the content and wear your little finger out with the scrolling, stop and pause and think someone's given a lot of time to that. So and just hit that like button and appreciate that the time that they put together to share their content with you. So I think that's super important, and I'll probably delete quite a bit of that because it was a bit of a ramble. But what I'm going to say is I'm getting out of here right now because I am boiling. So I am going to sign off for now and go and get myself a nice, long, cool drink. And I will get back to you as soon as I'm able. Look forward to hearing from our second winner so we can get those prizes off to you. And I hope you have a brilliant week. If you haven't subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you considered that, and give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the content. Thank you very much. Take care and goodbye.